Hello, everybody. Big show today. Democrats are freaking out right now because the FBI has just exposed one of their darkest secrets. Guys, this is so big. The CIA knew China was interfering in the 2020 election, proven by intelligence reports dating back to April. Guys, U.S. intelligence knew something explosive was happening. They worked against a sitting president to get him out. China, listen to this, guys, because I'm telling you, big show today. Grab the popcorn, take a seat. So much breaking news. China gained access to American voter registration data across multiple states. 18 states, as a matter of fact. It wasn't just about the voter rolls. No, this was voter registration data, not just ballots. We're talking about names, addresses, driver's license, partial social security numbers. Think of how dangerous this is when it comes to the propaganda, the influence, where the ads show up, who they're targeted to. This is so big. Again, the CIA knew this. We were told for 6 years there was no foreign intrusions in our elections, and now there are indictments over Iran hacking one voter database and evidence showing that China penetrated over 18 states' voter databases to, again, guys, I want to say this again because this is all coming out, bombshell news, names, addresses, driver's licenses, partial social security numbers. This was all taken, hacked, stolen from the 2020 election. All this was used to get Trump out. And this is being exposed right now, right here on TrueLife News, guys. We've got the receipts today. The Democrats are freaking out over this right now. And they're also freaking out and having a meltdown over the ICE agents that are going to be showing up at the polling places in 2026 election for the midterms. Guys, this is one of the biggest wins we're ever going to see on this channel, in this country, is that we are going to make sure that no illegal is voting in the midterm elections. We have it on good authority that Mullen is going to be confirmed shortly as the new director of Homeland Security. And there is high evidence showing that we are going to make sure that Trump has people at the polling stations that regardless if we get the Save America Act passed, which is a long shot, we are going to make sure that we are monitoring all the most significant polling stations in America, baby. Boom. Big news happening today. And guys, I'm telling you, if the stuff that comes out, the guy Joe Kent, the deputy director of the Counterterrorism Division, former deputy director, news is coming out and it's huge over being an alleged leaker of information. This guy of Joe Kent, that pressure was put on him. Remember, he resigned. And a lot of people are making a fuss over it because he said that it was over Iran. Well, we've got a snapshot from Trump himself that posted that Joe Kent wanted to go to Iran, wanted to take out their missiles. But now because of what they have found out about alleged leaks internally, that he has been found out. Guys, Joe Kent was not in the rooms. He was cut from the President Trump's intelligence briefings months ago over suspected leaks. He was deliberately shut out of all Iran planning, had zero access to the classified evidence proving the regime was racing toward nuclear weapons and posed an imminent threat. This is why he resigned. It was only a matter of time. And now this is all coming out from Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, that alleged suspected leaks coming from Joe Kent, the former deputy director. Again, we know this is happening. We know we got an enemy from within. But this is why, again, our elections are so important. We have now proven evidence illegal immigrants from Africa, India, China are voting in the U.S. elections. We have a breakdown of how they're doing it. And all this foreign interference in our elections is all swayed toward the Democrats. We even have more bombshell news that's come from a video that's been released by James O'Keefe exposing 28, guys, hear me, 28 cash for ballot deals in California of paying people to get votes, to get signatures in exchange. Guys, you're not even going to believe this. You would think it's just money, right? It's not just money. They exchange for money, cigarettes, yes, cigarettes, and drugs. This is happening in Cali. This is why things went down in Cali with all the ballot measures, that even 60% of the population voted that no illegal should get taxpayer benefits, but a judge struck it down. So much bombshell news today, guys. I'm excited about it all. Again, what you're about to see, this is some of the most bombshell news I've ever brought to this channel. I'm not joking, guys. We were lied to. It's being exposed now. The FBI is dropping bombshell news. All the China interference. They stole names, addresses, driver's licenses numbers, social security numbers. Guys, this is big. And it's all coming out now today on TrueLife News. Want to say thank you to everybody who is watching. If you're not a part of the family yet, guys, hit that subscribe button. Join our family so we can take care of you every day with the breaking news. Thank you to everybody that supports our channel and your giving. Guys, when you give on this channel, you're giving with us on the 22nd of every single month to a local children's home, a local orphanage, live on stream. We show you the receipt because we are going to make a difference one way or another. And thank you to everybody that supports us in your giving, helping us to grow our giving. Guys, give some love to Sincerely Stephanie, Darlene K. Harris, Elaine Ward, Thomas Brewer, our brother T Heavy Guy, 10 gifted memberships, OG of the family. Show them some love in the chat, everybody. And thank you to everybody. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up like button, guys, because we got some big breaking news for you today. And don't forget our partner chapter. This company here alone has saved people so much money, guys, and I'm such an advocate for it because I've seen people save over $5,000 in their healthcare costs a year. People are telling me left and right. Call them up. It's free service to you. The number is 667-895-3015. The number's at the bottom of the screen as well as in the description. There's over 24,000 plans out there. By intention, guys. It's complex. They do it for a reason because they know the average person doesn't have the time or the effort to go through and figure it out. So they make it complex so that you pay more than you're supposed to. Chapter will help you out for free. 667-895-3015. What you're about to see, guys, I'm telling you, this is some of the biggest bombshell news I have ever reported on this channel for you today. Things are going to change forever because of what you're about to see. Listen to this.
By April 2020, U.S. intelligence knew something explosive. China had gained access to American voter registration data across multiple states. Not ballots, but names, addresses, driver's license, partial social security numbers. Think of this, how dangerous this is. They have your name, address, driver's license, and social security number. Do you know what could be done by fraud alone? This is the kind of data you don't need to change a vote. You need it to influence vote, to impersonate, to target, to manipulate. And they didn't just take it, they analyzed it. China took it, they studied it, they mapped American voters like a battlefield. When you have this kind of information, they can influence what you read, what you see all the time. Here's the part that's really frustrating. Our government knew this in 2020. There were clear intelligence reports that we're just finding out now. In 2026, there were briefings. There was even a presidential daily briefing that talked about it. Congress wasn't told. The American people weren't told. And according to whistleblowers, now even the president of the United States wasn't fully informed, but I don't think that guy knew his shoes were on at times.
Again, names, addresses, driver's license, social security numbers out of 18 states, everybody. 18 18 states. You want to know how much they've influenced our elections, how much they have influenced our country, how much they have stolen from us? Breaking news. Illegal immigrants from Africa, India, China are voting in the U.S. elections. Why? Because they stole names. They stole social security numbers. They manipulated the data. They allowed for people to come in and be able to influence the elections. And it's all coming out today. This right here from the New York Post, guys, I am telling you, we have never heard bombshell news like this. Everybody was kept in the dark. The American people were kept in the dark. The Congress was kept in the dark. And even sleepy Joe Biden was kept in the dark. That the China CCP out of 18 states, everybody, stole driver's license, addresses. They hacked social security numbers. The fraud that was committed is paramount, guys. We're talking hundreds of billions of dollars that they stole of information from 18 states. All right, here, 18 states. The scandal is so massive, and we're just now hearing about it 6 years later. We're going to get into the details in just a moment, but I'm telling you, this is the straw that breaks the camel's back. This is the very evidence that the American people say enough is enough. And if you're watching, guys, if you appreciate, guys, we're bringing it today. Big news today. Hit that thumbs up like button because I'm telling you, you've never heard this news before.
Reports were blocked, they were buried, they were hidden, and at the same time, you were told something very different. You were told this election is the most secure in history. There is no real foreign interference to worry about, so don't question it. How is that possible? How is that possible? China is harvesting voter data. Chinese-linked groups are running influence campaigns. Are. Thousands of fake driver's licenses are being seized, mostly from China. And an FBI intelligence report raising concerns about fraudulent mail-in voting schemes, that's pulled back. Told to be deleted. And the day after testimony said, nothing to see here, nothing happened. No, there's nothing happening. Let me be clear about something. There is no smoking gun like this.
Nope.
The voting machines were hacked. Not like this. That's not the story. This story is much more dangerous than that because you don't need to hack a machine when you can hack people.
Boom.
Here's the question that our press should be asking. How is it we can secure our nuclear weapon systems? How is it we can secure our military networks, our SWIFT global banking system, our intelligence infrastructure all around the world, but we cannot secure my ID and my vote? Don't tell me it's too complicated. Don't tell me it's too expensive. Don't tell me it's impossible. We put a rover on Mars. We track trillions of dollars across continents in milliseconds. Milliseconds. We can verify your identity to open a bank account, board a plane, buy a house, but voting, that's too hard. What? No, it's not that we can't secure it. It's that for some reason, and maybe I should check Punchbowl News, for some reason, the people in charge don't want it secured.
Nope.
Which leads to the only question that matters. Why?
And again, the news is breaking today. Illegal immigrants from Africa, India, and China are voting in the U.S. elections, and it is big. CIA covered it up. 18 states were infiltrated during the 2020 elections. 18 states, people's driver's license, addresses, their phone numbers, their social security numbers were all compromised. The amount of fraud that was being able to be garnered for outside foreign countries from the United States with all the data that was stolen is paramount to hundreds of billions of dollars. Guys, this is the biggest and, to me, worst cover-up that we've ever seen of rigging, stealing our elections for 6 years. They literally said it never happened. There was no interference. It was the most secure election ever. And now we're finding out it was all a lie. It was all a lie. They stole it from the very beginning. They tried to cover it up. And what you're about to hear next is, again, we are bringing you this breaking news. It's blowing up X right now. 18 states, peoples, and this is what bothers me because, again, I'm looking into partnering with somebody who can help with our community and making sure that you have your identity protected, because 18 states, China stole driver's license, phone numbers, addresses, social security numbers. Fraud has been used. Medicare, Medicaid, all across the board, social security. And they told us it never happened, and it did. And you're about to hear this big news again too, because it's dropping everywhere. But I want to say real quick, thank you so much to everybody that it's given. T Heavy Guy with the 10 gifted memberships. Darlene K. Harris, thank you so much. Elaine Ward, Thomas Brewer, our boy JB, let's go. Jim Barbato, Thomas Brewer, and Elaine Ward, thank y'all so much. Jeffrey Hatt said need some cuffs on them wrists in every state. Amen. The Memphis Conservative, Marilyn Kaplan, our boy JB, and PDX67 with the 20 gifted memberships. Show them some love in the chat, everybody. If you got a free membership from them, we're dropping some bombshell news today, guys. This is big. I feel like this is some of the biggest news I have ever reported on this channel. Again, for those that are joining, 18 states were infiltrated. People's driver's license, phone numbers, addresses, social security numbers. They stole everything.
If Tulsi Gabbard looked Mark Warner into the face and said, "Sir, we were told for 6 years that there was no foreign intrusions in our election. We've now indicted Iranians for hacking into one voter database. We now have evidence that 18 other states' voter databases were penetrated by China. And the reason you and I don't know about that is that a series of intelligence analysts and officers under Donald Trump and Joe Biden put party before country. They decided they were not going to tell the country. They were not going to tell the Congress. They were not going to tell the president of the United States that China did these things because they didn't want to give Donald Trump ammunition on his China policy, because that is what the ombudsman concluded. On the record, there is a report that's been sitting with nobody noticing it. The Intelligence Committee ombudsman saying that the CIA intentionally kept the president and the country in the dark because they didn't like Donald Trump's policies, even used disparaging names to describe the commander-in-chief they're supposed to be working for. We ought to find out if any of those officers still work for the CIA, because they should be fired. But she could have done that because she has all of this evidence. And by the way, she has a lot more evidence than what I've been trying to squeeze this out. She has oodles more evidence. It is more damning than what I've reported, and she's been sitting on it. Why? I don't know. She didn't deploy it today. The president knows of this evidence. The White House chief of staff knows of this evidence. They went into, I think Kash Patel has answered the imminent threat pretty interestingly on Iran. He's talked about China. He brought up the driver's licenses today. That was important. Ratcliffe seems a little bit more engaged, but Tulsi seems to just be roadkill. She's not using the data in front of her agency to tell a story that's much more compelling.
So again, everybody, you just heard this. They kept data from President Trump. They lied to President Trump. They said nothing was going on. They even called him names and had code names behind his back. And everything that they have done was trying to keep him from being president again. Everything that we're seeing, guys, and now more leaks are coming out over this guy, Kent. Everything that you're seeing, guys, we are dropping some big news today over investigations into the leakers. He was suspected of leaking information pertaining to Iran. This is Joe Kent, the guy who resigned from being the counterterrorism. He was literally kept out of the rooms. They thought that and suspected that he was leaking. Now Caroline Leavitt is coming out and saying all this stuff. And again, Our country is under attack, and it's from a lot of people from within, everybody. I've never in my life seen so much, basically, to me, treasonous acts. These are treasonous acts that are taking place in our country. And I want you to see this next, because again, what is happening on Capitol Hill is probably one of the most single important things and inflection points in our history. And if you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, this is just blowing my mind today. And I hope you are enjoying and getting value out of today's show.
Davis, walk us through, tell the audience, describe what's happening right now.
This is historic, and I want to commend senators like Senator Eric Schmidt from Missouri, Senator Mike Lee from Utah, many other good Republican senators, even Mitch McConnell, who joined his colleagues to vote to proceed. They voted to get past that first Senate procedure to begin debates on the S.A.V.E. Act. The S.A.V.E. Act will ensure that non-citizens are not voting in our elections. It requires proof of citizenship to register to vote. It helps keep our voting rolls clean to make sure that non-citizens are not on our voting rolls. It requires voter ID. These are measures that have support with over 80% of Americans, including a supermajority of Democrats and even a supermajority of minorities. These Democrat senators are pretending that this is somehow sexist and racist to require voter ID, like married women somehow can't get a voter ID because their name has changed, or that Black Americans don't have the wherewithal to get a voter ID like all other Americans. Well, if that's the case, why do a supermajority of Black Americans support voter ID? Why do they support the S.A.V.E. Act? It's very clear what the Democrats are doing here. They want to make it easier for illegal immigrants to illegally vote and rig and steal our elections. And the S.A.V.E. Act will help prevent that. This is within Congress's power under the Elections Clause of the Constitution. Congress can set the rules for federal elections along with the states. And so this is clearly within Congress's power. There is no excuse not to pass the S.A.V.E. Act when it has overwhelming bipartisan support among Americans. There's no excuse for this. And so the Democrats think that they're going to try to stop this with what they call the silent filibuster, meaning you have to have 60 votes in the Senate to end debates and vote on bills. And I call that the lazy filibuster, because if you just threaten a filibuster in the Senate, it usually makes these senators say, okay, we don't have the courage, we don't have the energy to fight this, so we're going to move on to the next bill. This bill, this S.A.V.E. Act, can pass without 60 votes in the Senate.
Yes.
It is simply not true that you need 60 votes in the Senate to pass the S.A.V.E. Act. You need you just need to wear out the Democrats. You need to make them debate. You need to make them stand up on the floor and follow the strict rules, Rule 19 of the Senate rules. Follow that strictly, where senators can only generally debate 2 times a day in one legislative day on any given topic, and the debates must be germane, remaining they have to be about the S.A.V.E. Act and not about anything else. And if you strictly enforce those rules, if you make Senate Democrats stand up and debate and argue against 80% of the American people, including a supermajority of Democrats and even a supermajority of minorities, the Democrats are going to lose steam on this debate. They're not going to win this debate. And so
I love this. Tom Miller put Congress's bot. We're going to come back to Mike Davis in a moment because he's going to tell us some more news. But I'm telling you, this just dropped moments ago. Confirmed, everybody. This is confirmed. Without a shadow of a doubt, confirmed. Foreign powers were discussing routing USAID money to Joe Biden's 2024 campaign. Again, foreign power was discussing routing USAID money to Joe Biden's 2024 campaign. They were all in on it. Every single one of them, guys. Every single one of them. And you're about to see it right now. I'm going to show you, then we're going to cut back to Mike Davis, because this is the stuff that is the one thing that rigged and stole our elections. And now you're getting to see it, and we actually have the truth. And thank God to everybody that shares these videos. X, Facebook, TikTok. I'm telling you, this is the end of, we are going to expose them and just show everybody in the world that nothing has been what you thought it was.
I confirmed this morning, Steve. There's a foreign power that was discussing routing USAID money to Joe Biden's campaign in 2024. That was intercepted by our intelligence agencies. They should be driving that narrative with evidence. They don't know how to command the podium. They don't know. President Trump does. His storytellers don't. They react. I confirmed this morning, Steve. There's a foreign power that was discussing routing USAID money to Joe Biden's campaign in 2024. That was intercepted by our intelligence agencies. They should be driving.
That's why we need the Save America Act. That's why we got to change the laws. That's why things have got to change, everybody, because everything that we've been thinking about that we're like, man, oh, that kind of maybe happened. No, it was happening. And guys, give it up to Jim Barbato, OG of the fam, for his blessings in the super chat. Marilyn Kaplan, the Memphis conservative. Guys, show them some love in the chat. JB with the blessings. Let's go. Don't forget to show T Heavy Guy some love in the chat. Don't forget to show PDX67 with the 20 gifted memberships. Some love in the chat. Elaine Ward, Thomas Brewer. Thank you so much to Darlene K. Harris. Show them some love in the chat, guys. Today is a big day of news. We are dropping the receipts. This is bombshell news. I'm telling you what, like, my heart is pumping right now for what we are finally hearing, the truth that we've suspected all along.
The key is Republicans just need to continue to fight to make sure this passes. This bill has already passed the House, and it simply needs to pass the Senate after we wear out the Senate Democrats, and the president can sign this crucial piece of legislation that makes sure that Democrats cannot continue to import tens of millions of illegal aliens, and so they can rig and steal our elections. This is a red line.
Guys, put it in the chat. Let's get it going today. I'm feeling so strongly about this. Hashtag pass the Save America Act. Put it in there, guys. I'm telling you, this is massive.
This is where Senate Republicans must fight and not give up. And at the Article 3 project, we make it very easy to encourage our senators to stay in this fight. If you go to article3project.org and take action, again, the War Room Posse superpower is lighting up these Senate Republicans and even Senate Democrats, like we did with Ketanji Brown Jackson's confirmation, like we've done with so many others. You take action, and the most important action item right now is to stop illegal aliens from rigging and stealing our elections. Get these Republicans to find and keep their backbones and pass the SAVE Act. Get it to President Trump's desk. He's already said he's not going to sign any other legislation until he signs the SAVE Act. And
yes.
So if these Senate Republicans or these Senate Democrats want appropriations bills signed by the president, they better pass the SAVE Act.
Guys, I'm about to drop some just bombshell news on you. For those that think that MAGA is breaking, for those that think that MAGA is not here to support Trump, well, guess what? We're going to smack you in the face today with some truth that our friends at CNN Our friends at NBC News polls have just released today, just got this from our girl, Caroline Levitt, press secretary. Here it is. I love it, everybody. If you love this, hit the thumbs up like button because, again, CNN is reporting the MAGA GOP view of Trump 100% approval. 0% disapprove. And this is from an NBC News poll, baby. When have you ever seen this for any other president? When have you ever seen this for any movie, any sports team, anybody out there? Even the Dalai Lama, even everybody. Nobody got this. Nobody gets this. Even what was the dictator that just got him? I looked at it, it was 99.63%. He didn't even get this. And they're in a dictator communist setup. 100% approval, MAGA GOP view on the Trump. Listen to this.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you look at the polling data and there are numbers that just jump off the screen at you, and this is one of those. Because just take a look here. MAGA GOP view of Trump. Approve 100%. 100%. If you are a member of MAGA and the GOP, you approve of Donald John Trump. 0% say that they disapprove. You don't have to be a mathematical genius to know you can't go higher than 100%. He is the 1972 Miami Dolphins. Yeah.
Let me tell you this. Them Miami Dolphins. Perfect. That's where Trump is with his voter base. Better USA. Let's go. Show Better USA some love in the chat, everybody. Again, for those that are joining today, bombshell news that we have released that in 2020, the CCP infiltrated a voter database, and they stole social security numbers, addresses, phone numbers. They stole driver's license numbers, everything, and it's all being released today. We've got illegal immigrants now being voting from Africa, India, China, voting in our U.S. elections. We are dropping this news today. Again, they stole all this data. They've committed so much fraud, and we are breaking the news for you today, guys. This is big stuff. The bigger and the more that we dig into this, the more that we are saying that we have a coalition of people like TrueLife News, like Mike Davis, like the Trump team, the Trump cabinet team. We are going to root out the fraud, waste, and abuse. We've got people like James O'Keefe, Nick Shirley, Bongino. We're going to drop it all. I love it. Peter Ulrich, thank you so much for the super chat. He said 100%. Is that good? I don't know, man. That's pretty good. I think you get an A+ with that. Asking for a liberal. Let's go, baby. We got some more news from our boy Mike Davis, guy on the inside. But I'm telling you, y'all, this is some bombshell stuff today, and I hope you love it because I do.
We had Senator Marshall of Kansas. That was basically the first hour. The second hour started with Eric Schmidt, which I thought was one of the best speeches we've heard so far. And now we've got this. I believe this is the first Democrat. I may have missed somebody at the beginning. Does this mean the Democrats are just now engaged in this? I mean, what we've done here is called seize the floor. We're on this bill in a very non-traditional way, but we have to continue to drive this until they wear out, correct? I mean, this is not about political nuance right now. This is pure political muscle of who can stand here, because as soon as they fade for any reason, we can bring it to an immediate vote. And we already know Murkowski said she's a no. Tillis didn't even show up for the rule. So we're at 51 votes right now, but that would pass it. Is this just a display in good old-fashioned political hardball?
We need to make sure that Senate Republicans keep their backbones here. This is the most crucial piece of legislation. Remember what Senate Democrats are doing. They are filibustering a bill with 80% plus support among Americans, including a supermajority of Democrats and a supermajority of minorities. If we can't get the S.A.V.E. Act passed in the Senate, if Senator John Thune cannot get the S.A.V.E. Act passed in the Senate, he may need to find a different line of work. If you can't pass legislation with 80% support,
Wow.
including a supermajority of Democrats and a supermajority of minorities, you're not doing your job. So force these Democrats to get up there and argue like this Patty Murray has just done with from Washington, that married women can't figure out how to change their voter ID so they can vote, like they're too stupid. Maybe they're just pregnant and barefoot in the kitchen and they don't know how to get to the DMV and change their ID like every other woman in America. Or
I'm going to go ahead and expose them, guys. These two Republicans voted. Tom Tillis didn't even show up, okay, to the procedural vote for the Save America Act. Primary his butt out. Lisa Murkowski voted against it. Here's your photos. These two are Rhino Republicans, because I want to show you this. Tom Tillis couldn't even be there for the procedural Save the America vote, but remember, he was there because he was there whenever they attended a dog parade event on Capitol Hill. And I'm not joking. They had a dog parade where they pulled dogs in wagons on Capitol Hill. But, we ain't got time to pass the Save America Act or do a talking filibuster. Tom Tillis is here, but he was not there for the procedural vote on the Save America Act or the open debate. Bust these guys up, guys. Primary them. Get their butts out of office. We do not need these people in office trying to represent we the people, especially. Look, it's one thing if you're MAGA, to me, it's like you're up here. Hey, I'm going to do America first. We're going to do what's best. We trust Trump and it's going to happen. And then below MAGA, you got Republicans. And Republicans are like wishy-washy, anti-establishment. They can sometimes go with Trump, sometimes they don't. We got to get all these people out. We got to have pure, make America great again, do what's best for Americans, deport, mass deportations, close the borders, lower interest rates, deregulate, make sure that we are the superpower of the world, build a golden dome. That's MAGA. Put our country first. Put our citizens first. These two people on screen just showed you where they truly stand.
like the Democrats try to argue that Black Americans don't have the wherewithal to get a voter ID like everyone else, even though a supermajority of Black voters support voter ID. These are crazy arguments by these Democrats. Let them make them wear them out and then get this to President Trump's desk with 51 votes, 52 votes, 50 votes. Who cares? We'll bring in the vice president to break the tie. But this SAVE Act must pass.
Mike, before I let you go, and thank you.
And I want to show you, this is the most important thing. They are freaking out right now. The Democrats are melting down right now because of what you're about to see next. And I'm telling you, this is the number one reason. This should tell every American in the world what is truly going on right here.
To put uniformed officers at polling locations in 2026.
Ma'am, we said this in your office. The only reason why my officers would be there if there was a specific threat for them to be there, not for intimidation. And
so
I said
even though we didn't need it during World War II, we didn't need it during Vietnam or the War on Terror, we never had to put uniformed military there. Now, you feel that there's going to be a reason that there's going to be an armed threat to the United States that you need to potentially be there?
I said I can't sit there and guarantee hypothetically what threat would be and not. I'm not putting military. That's not within my
uniformed officers.
But if there is a threat, a specific threat, say it's in a Jewish community, and there is a threat that's specific to that polling area, then we will work with local law enforcement. There'll be a reason for us to be there, and it'll be known why we're there.
To put uniformed officers at polling locations in 2026.
Boom. They are melting down. They are losing it over that. They're so afraid of we are catching everything left and right, everybody. And we're barely getting started. And this is what I love. Things that you had no idea was happening is happening in America. And we're about to, And if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, illegal immigrants from Africa, India, and China are voting in the U.S. elections. And it is happening. We're about to show you a video, guys, in a moment that, again, they are stealing things left and right. I want to share real quick from our partner, guys. We partner with this company, Chapter. If you're on Medicare, doesn't matter how much money you make, and doesn't matter that we're not open enrollment. Right now, guys, and we only got a couple more days, okay, before this ends. But you can call Chapter up. And they do this for free. They can change your Medicare out of the 24,000 plans out there. Help you find the best plan possible for free. The number is 667-895-3015. I've shown you right here, and I'm going to refresh this so you can see this. Refreshed with over 24,000 Medicare plans available nationwide. Why is it so many? It's because they make it that way so that you pay more. The more complex it is, the more you just have things added to your plan. You don't need. You pay more than what you should. That's why when you call Chapter, they have helped people save literally over $5,000 a year on their healthcare costs. How in the world does somebody overpay by that much? They have on this channel, people on this channel, but they've called Chapter and they've hooked them up, and I'm telling you, they'll take care of you too. The number is, again, at the bottom of the screen and in the description, 667-895-3015. Call them up. I promise you, you'll be blessed. And what you're about to see next, guys, I told you, it is happening and it is coming out and we're exposing it and I love it and I hope you do too. Peter Ulrich, let's go. 35 states currently require voter ID. Yup. And again, we need 50 states and we need not just voter ID, we need birth certificate. We need to make sure that they have citizenship without a shadow of a doubt. Show Peter Ulrich some love in the chat, everybody. Check this out.
$1 million? This is almost hard to believe.
100 million.
And a lot of it, according to President Trump, is going to terrorist organizations. So money that's meant for needy kids to feed them and for these ghost daycares is actually going to Al Qaeda, according to President Trump.
Okay. Now, this is just one of many. I mean, how many of these daycares are all over California? I mean, this is not just a handful. You guys probably have a list of daycares.
I searched alphabetically, and what I found was staggering that a lot of it was centered specifically right here in San Diego in the Somali community.
Okay, so when you confront them, and that was just one brief clip that we saw, how combative and defensive are they? Because I think they have an idea that you figured them out.
Every single person willingly opened the door and said, "You're Nick Shirley." And the image that you're looking at right now, the woman, she came to the door and she said, "I'm naked. I could sue you." And then she disappeared for 30 seconds. She came back, opened the door again, said, "I was naked. I could sue you, Nick Shirley." And of course, you know what I said next. I said, "Why are you naked in a daycare?"
Ooh.
Well, that's a great question. Because
guys, do you hear this? They're going to these supposedly daycares that are Somali in California, and they're calling out and saying like, "Hey, is this a daycare? We want to talk." And the lady's yelling like, "Guys, how big is that?" And Akil 1914 fake daycares, leering centers, 100%. Guys, what a quick-witted call out of a lady saying that she's going to sue Nick Shirley for videoing her at this daycare because she's naked. And then she goes, "Why are you naked at a daycare? That's kind of gross because there's supposed to be kids here that are not yours." That's what a daycare is, right? Because if it's your kids, it's just you taking care of your own kids. Guys, what? Like, this is amazing. I love this. More citizen journalism is going out there and making this happen. I love it. You love it, guys? Oh my goodness.
Not a daycare. We all know that. Oh, okay. So you've got this information. Obviously, President Trump was aware of the fraud. Vice President J.D. Vance is aware of the fraud. They call him the fraud czar now. Where does this information go? And how can we as Americans, and Californians in particular, because you're out there, hold these people responsible? What happens to them?
I can tell you right now, we're having a heat wave in California, and the heat is on Gavin Newsom, and he is having a really bad past couple of days. I can tell you that our Assistant Attorney General, Bill S.A.V.E, just quote tweeted Nick Shirley and said, arrests are coming. So we can't wait.
Let's go.
Yeah. Now, how do you go about finding and I would imagine there are some daycares that are legitimately following the law. They are, they're legit. How do you separate the ones that are doing it right and the ones that are ripping people off? What's your grounds for that?
I'm a state licensed private investigator in California. I've had my license since 1999. So I did go about this in an investigative style by searching alphabetically. And I never, ever focused on one ethnic, racial, or religious group. And I came up with a list of really the dirty dozen. And I showed them to Nick Shirley. And these were ones that had the most visits from the state of California, and it had the most health and safety code violations. Things like missing enrollment records, not having parental emergency contact information. So again, I'm just an investigator. I'm not a judge. I'm not a prosecutor. I'm not a jury. So all I can really do is say, look, here's some fraud indicators, Attorney General. Will you please take a look?
Wow.
Yeah. Do you ever feel threatened? I've seen some of these videos, and the one the other day, this guy was claiming, he starts filming you guys. Do you ever feel threatened that they might turn violent towards you?
Listen to this, y'all. Listen to this.
The attacks and the threats against Nick Shirley, who's just 23 years old, a citizen journalist, a patriot who's just trying to get the truth out there. I can tell you that I saw with my own eyes on social media that someone said that he should be Charlie Kirked, and that would make his mom Erica.
Guys, I'm telling you what you're about to see next. Again, it is all coming out. James O'Keefe posed as an undercover homeless person and exposed that individuals are being exploited for votes with cash and drugs. Why do you think homelessness went up after they spent $24 billion? Guys, when you spend $24 billion on homelessness, you're supposed to make it go down. They made it go up because what are they doing? We're exposing them. Everybody's exposing them right now. They're using homeless people and they're using them to get the votes, exploit the votes, giving them cash, giving them drugs. That is where the money's going, cash and drugs to get votes from these homeless individuals. And listen to this. Breaking news, now Governor Gavin Newsom is demanding prosecutions after O'Keefe undercover video exposes 28 cash for ballot deals in Los Angeles, California. Now Gavin Newsom's like, oh yeah, we got this problem with the homeless people and oh my goodness, they're being paid. Brother, I don't doubt that this is, to me, common sense, everybody. You don't pour $24 billion into a program and then it gets worse. Unless it's intentional. And now that we know 28 cash for ballot deals in Los Angeles, California, paying them with cigarettes, money, drugs to get their votes. You cannot make this stuff up, guys. And James O'Keefe exposed it all right here. There were some that were getting paid $2 to get a vote, $5 to get a vote. Look, right here, exchanging the cash in line to get their votes. Like all this stuff that's happening. Look, he's talking to them in a normal, but then when he goes undercover, look, he's just, and he's getting paid. He's getting paid. Look at that. handing them the money. This violates the election codes. Every person, look at this, going in there, every person who offers or gives money or other valuable consideration to another in exchange for his or her signature on a state, county, municipal, or district initiative, referendum, or recall petition is guilty of a misdemeanor. Oh, of course, it's a misdemeanor. I'm telling you, everybody, citizen journalism is blowing up. The mainstream media, you're not going to see this on mainstream media. So if you're watching, you're not part of the family, join the family. Hit that subscribe button because I'm going to bring it to you. We build a huge show every day of all different sources of information every single day so that you get a full context of what the heck is going on in our country every single day with the breaking news. And I'm showing you right here. Look at this. They're in there. They're paying them. Oh, I get paid this much. And he goes through. He's signing all these people. This is a homeless man. After 9, they're going to give you an additional one more to sign. Then after that one more, you get $3. Can you believe this, everybody? It's on this. Like, this is all coming out. And now Gavin Newsom is on this. Now Gavin Newsom's like, prosecutions, put them in jail. We're going after them. Look at this. Governor Gavin Newsom demands prosecutions after O'Keefe's undercover video exposes 28 cash for ballot deals in Los Angeles. Give me a break. It's all a lie. Just think about everything that you've seen, everybody, is all a show. And the more that we expose it and the more we show you all this stuff, we just want to continue to bring the real people, showing you the real news of what's going on. Because I'm telling you, what you see in Congress, what's going on, is not what's really going on. Listen to this.
Missouri Senator Eric Schmitt. Senator, it's really good to have you with us tonight. Obviously, you're right there on the Senate floor. You were debating earlier. This is going to be an interesting week of debate, no question about it. But I'm going to kind of cut right to the chase. At the end of it all, unless you get rid of the filibuster, you got to have 60 votes to get this thing to President Trump for his signature. Is there any possible world where you're going to persuade some of your Democrat colleagues to come along and vote for this thing?
I mean, we're going to find out. But I would say there's actually two ways to do it. One is the just automatic 60 vote threshold that everybody's pretty familiar with. But what most people actually think the Senate does when a filibuster is something akin to Mr. Smith went to Washington, right? Where you actually have to hold the Senate floor and you engage in the debate. And the old line is the Senate operates either by unanimous consent or exhaustion. So for my money, what I'd like to be able to do is we just stay on this thing and exhaust out the Democrats and get to a vote. That's well within our rules. So that's when people talk about the talking filibuster, what's on the line there. But I just think it's also worth remembering what these issues are. This is about only Americans voting in American elections, showing an ID, making sure we're not mutilating our kids through transgender surgery, making sure men are not competing with women in women's sports. The exercise of the Democrats trying to defend that is defining, I think, as we approach the midterms, because they're on the wrong side of these issues. And I think part of what we should be doing is outlining what we're for and do everything we can do to get it done.
Senator, but the expectation, certainly from Chad Pergram, our terrific reporter on the news channel,
yeah, Chad's great,
is that John Thune, the Senate Majority Leader, will expect Thune to eventually end debate on the S.A.V.E. Act, which requires 60 yay votes to end debate and invoke cloture, which the Republicans at this point lack, which would essentially shelve this piece of legislation. And there is the urgency of moving on to the confirmation of current Senator Mark Wayne Mullen as head of the Department of Homeland Security. And there's potential movement on funding for the reopening, the partial shutdown, funding for the Department of Homeland Security and getting people paid, particularly those TSA agents. At least there's movement there. It only involves Republicans at this point.
Yeah, but we can do all those. We can still do those things. Mark Wayne Mullins' confirmation vote on the Senate floor is still a couple weeks out. His hearing is in the committee is this week, but his confirmation vote's probably, I mean, at least a week out. And we ought to be spending that time again, talking about these important issues. I think we should go. I think we should try. I just think people expect us to.
Just released, guys. Again, this is what I'm talking about. President Trump has come out and said, look, if y'all do not pass the S.A.V.E. Act, I will block any bill. We just got this news that 24 House Republicans say we will not vote against any bill. We will not vote for any bill that the GOP brings forward unless the Save America Act is passed. Hold the line, baby. Hold it. This is where you got to have them diamond hands to do what is right, protect our elections, get what we want. The Democrats do this all the dang time. They stick together, they hold together. Nancy Pelosi keeps them in check. We need our leaders to keep them in check. No more backing down. And now you've finally got 24 House Republicans. I know there's 218 of them or 216 of them, but at least now we have enough. 24, nothing is going to get passed. And that's the way it should be. This is how important it is. Again, I'm going to put it on in the chat. Pass the S.A.V.E. America Act. Boom. Let's put it in there, guys. The algorithms are going to see. We are going to show what there is a small coalition that is fighting against this all. And we are going to support them. I'm going to get the names of this list for you in just a moment while we go back to Eric Schmidt in the Senate. But I'm telling you guys, this is good. This is good momentum that we're seeing. And guys, please give it up for those that have given today. Our girl, Darlene K. Harris. Thank you so much, Darlene. Elaine Ward. Thank y'all so much. Thomas Brewer, OG of the fam. Jim Barbato. Thank you so much to PDX67. T Heavy Guy for their blessings. Show them some love in the chat, everybody. And to Alice, Mr. Tracy J. Norby, to everybody that's helped us grow this channel. And don't forget B1 Sly One. I don't see him much in the chat anymore, but we appreciate him for all that he did as well.
Fight like hell for the things that they sent us here to do. Securing our elections, protecting the vote, I think is critical. Protecting women from being, sort of disenfranchised in the way that they are with not being able to compete with men in sports. I mean, we should be able to have women's sports without men pretending to be women, and we should also protect our kids. Again, we have to fight on these issues. People expect us to do it. I think for far too long, people have grown accustomed to this sort of sleepy Washington where everybody pats themselves on the back. That's not why I came here. I came here as an attorney general in Missouri who fought back against the Biden administration on a mission to change the way that, people see their government. And part of that is earning their trust by fighting for things like this, secure elections.
Look, I mean, their 80-20 issue, I'm with you on that one. I think a lot of Americans agree with you on it, but it's your colleagues in the Senate who don't seem to want to go along with where America is on these things. I guess we'll see what happens during the debate. I want to ask you, too, about the DHS funding. Democrats came back. They want to do this piecemeal thing, okay? Like get TSA done, get FEMA done, right?
No.
But not touch Customs and Border Protection. Don't touch ICE. That's where they are. You're on the other side, which is just do the whole thing together. Is there going to be some meeting of the minds on that thing?
Well, look, we're not going to allow the Democrats to kneecap ICE from doing their jobs. That's what this whole thing is about. Everything else is window dressing. What they really are mad about is that President Trump ran on the idea that 15 million people came here illegally and we need to deport folks. They don't like that. So what they want to do is make enforcement of those laws impossible by defunding ICE. They're not bashful about it. It's the same party who said they wanted to defund the police. Now it's defund ICE. We're not going to let them do that. Meanwhile, they're holding hostage the Department of Homeland Security when we see all these threats and terrorist attacks here in the homeland. So the Democrats are wrong on this. I don't think we should give them a win on ICE being defunded, but I do think we should make sure that we fund TSA. We should fund the Secret Service, the Coast Guard. This is a Democrat exclusively a Democrat issue where they are holding everything hostage. Republicans have voted time and time again to fund DHS. I mean, that's the right thing to do. And now you have TSA agents who are missing 2 paychecks, members of the Coast Guard missing 2 paychecks. Most people in real America can't afford to do that. And the Democrats, again, are just playing politics because of Trump derangement syndrome.
Well, I just want to point out, and I mentioned this in my question to you, this was movement by the White House, by Tom Homan and Blair to two Republican senators. Again, the Democrats aren't doing anything but not paying people and putting our nation and our citizens at risk, Senator. Final word.
They just want chaos. They're more interested in defunding ICE than they are funding Homeland Security in this country, and it's
what I'm going to show you next, everybody, and I'm telling you, there is things happening that now you're hearing it, and this is the reason why things are being done across the world with Iran and everything. Now you're going to get to hear it. Remember how I told you we just had to wait and see? You're about to hear it. If you're watching, if you don't, just thank you everybody who's watching, supporting the family. Give it up for Chris Prez for the 20 gifted TrueLife News memberships. What a blessing. Show our brother CP, Chris Prez, OG of the family, some love in the chat. Check your tag if you got a free blessing from him, a free membership from him. And guys, again, if you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up like button. This helps us so much when you do that to get these videos out there so that people can see so much of what you don't see on mainstream media. Listen to this. This is why Trump did what he did.
However, the intelligence community assesses that Russia, China, North Korea, Iran, and Pakistan have been researching and developing an array of novel, advanced, or traditional missile delivery systems with nuclear and conventional payloads that put our homeland within range. The IC assesses that threats to the homeland will expand collectively to more than 16,000 missiles by 2035, from the current assessed figure of more than 3,000 missiles. The IC assesses that China and Russia are developing advanced delivery systems meant to be capable of penetrating or bypassing U.S. missile defenses. North Korea's ICBMs can already reach U.S. soil, and the IC assesses that it is committed to expanding its nuclear arsenal. Pakistan's long-range ballistic missile development potentially could include ICBMs with a range capable of striking the homeland. The IC assesses that Iran has previously demonstrated space launch and other technology it could use to begin to develop a militarily viable ICBM before 2035, should Tehran attempt to pursue that capability. However, these assessments will clearly be updated as the full impact of Operation Epic Fury's devastating strikes on Iran's missile production facilities, stockpiles, and launch capabilities is determined.
So again, this is why he did it, everybody, because they have testified that Russia, China, North Korea, Iran, and Pakistan are developing new nuclear-equipped missiles that put the United States at risk. That's from your Director of National Intelligence, everybody. That's why Trump did what he did. There's more to the story, and I'm telling you, like I always say, there is always more that you have no idea what's happening. But if you trust in the person, look at the track record of the person. No way is Trump going to come into office and then turn into a liberal. That's what a lot of people are saying. You have people across the board, like everybody from Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Hodge twins, everybody's going after Trump. Guys, now I'm telling you, this is to me. I look at how a person has been their entire life versus, and if something happens that I don't understand why they're doing what they're doing, I wait and see. And I give them a little bit of time, because most of the time, you're going to find the truth. Now, we're finding it out. New nuclear missiles that could hit the United States homeland. That is new for us. We've been protected by the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean for a long time. But now they're literally launching these missiles from space. And that's why Trump's like, hey, we've got to make sure that we take out who? the biggest terror threat in the world. Now we got to make sure we clean house. Check this out.
Here to react, Dan Bongino, Fox News contributor, former deputy director of the FBI. All right, Dan. Now, we've seen this before, right? And it's usually people who are really have gone hard left on everything. George Conway, Liz Cheney, John Bolton, John Kasich. The list goes on and on. You turn on Donald Trump, and they embrace you for a time.
Yeah, this is the whose ox is gored effect. I mean, I've seen it with me during, my tenure in the administration, where they'll pick some right-wing radio host or podcaster they hate, who they call the conspiracy theorist or a nut job. And the minute he says something against someone they hate, Donald Trump or in my case me, they'll be like, respected voice in the conservative movement. They do this all the time. You're going to see this with Joe Kent in the coming days. Listen, Joe's decorated history of service is beyond reproach, and his sacrifice with his family is just unspeakable. I don't even like to think about it.
His wife, who passed, who was killed.
Yeah, I mean, there was, her name is emblazoned on a plaque in a facility I can't really talk about. And when you read the story there, it's a tough story to read. But, again, as I've said with other, the sacrifice is beyond reproach. That doesn't mean that this current opinion is any more fact-based, because it's not. I'm really sorry, Laura. I mean, I read probably a lot more intelligence than he did, because they don't have a law enforcement function, the National Counterterrorism Center. They're an analytical clearinghouse. They're valuable. However, I had access to just about everything. And how you could come to the conclusion that the Israelis did it and there was no imminent threat here? Really? What about the anti-ship ballistic missiles, the drone program, 440 kilograms of 60% enriched nuclear material, their constant death to America chance? I mean, that's called evidence. In some limited circles, we call that, a clue. I mean, I don't know at what point you thought this wasn't an imminent threat after you've read a lot of the stuff I read. And by the way, that's just the open source stuff we can talk about on the air. I promise you, the president, has a bevy of material that if he could do the Men in Black thing and erase your mind tomorrow, if he told you right now, you would come to the imminent threat conclusion in a snap.
Well, a senior U.S. official told Fox on Background that Joe Kent was cut out of presidential intel briefings months ago due to allegations that he was suspected of leaking and that he hasn't been part of any Iran discussions or briefings. But, I mean, he's beloved.
All right, so you hear that, guys. All right? You hear suspected of leaking. He said that because of the Iran conflict, that he decided to resign. And this is, again, where essentially President Trump just ended his career. Because back in January 8th of 2020, right, 2 days after Jan 6, I'm sorry. No, I'm a year behind. Sorry. This is still in Trump's presidency. This is before COVID. This is before everything. Joe Kent says we should not sit and wait for the next attack. Wipe Iran's ballistic capability out and get our troops out of Iraq. They are our only targets. No U.S. WIA, KIA is a tribute to the professionalism of our military and intel professionals, not Iranian restraint. So what happened? What changed? You wanted to wipe Iran's ballistic capabilities out back then, but now you don't want to do it when Trump's actually doing it. I'm telling you, suspected leaker, this stuff comes out, guys. We show you the facts. This is him himself, all right? Joe Kent just resigned because of the conflict with Iran. Just a couple years ago, he wanted to blow them to smithereens. Raymond Blanc, let's go. Show LeBlanc, show him some love in the chat for being a member for 10 months. Let's go. I love it. And then we got old Carville over here who predicts that Trump will resign next year after midterms sooner than you think. Guys, it's all propaganda. All propaganda, baby. But we show you the truth here on True Life News. Guys, and just want to say, if you're watching, you're not part of the family yet, hit that subscribe button so we can take care of you every day with the breaking news. And again, if you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up like button. Don't forget our partner chapter, everybody. There is over 24,000 Medicare plans available nationwide. We partnered with this company chapter because we know, guys, they're going to try to get as much money from you as possible. Chapter does a phenomenal service for free to help you get the best plan possible so that you keep more of your hard-earned money. And it's free. And I'll show you the receipts. They help you go through all the 24,000 plans with their software in 20 minutes or less on average. And they have helped so many people save thousands and thousands of dollars on this channel. Call them up. I promise you, you'll be blessed. Their number is 667-895-3015. Again, 667-895-3015. Tell them that Joel from TrueLife News sent you. And guys, I'm telling you, the number's at the bottom of the screen as well as in the description. I want to give some special love because, guys, y'all have just blown it out the water today on how much y'all have blessed. Couple of days on the 22nd of every month, we donate to a local children's home, a local orphanage, live on stream. And we got some big donations coming up, guys. Because, again, remember, I partner with you. When you donate, YouTube takes a cut. We donate with you, and we give to these local children's homes. And I'm just so thankful because everybody that's helping us grow this is a part of the TrueLife News family. This is a part of who we are. And I show you the receipts. We show you who we give to. You could literally call them up and say, did TrueLife News give? And they'll tell you yes. But I want to give some special love to our boy, T-Heavy Guy, with the 10 gifted TrueLife News memberships. Show T-Heavy Guy some love in the chat. Sincerely, Stephanie, show her some love in the chat. And again, guys, if you got a free membership, check your tag. Show some love to T-Heavy Guy in the chat. Darlene K. Harris, member of the family. Thank you so much, Darlene, for your blessings. Elaine Ward, thank you so much, Elaine, for your blessings, being a member of the family as well. Our boy Thomas Brewer, OG of the fam, been with us for a long time, member of the family. Show Thomas some love in the chat. And guys, give it up for our boy JB, Jim Barbato, showing the super effective, punching him out with a little remote controller. Some love in the chat for his gifted super chats to the channel. Show Jim Barbato some love in the chat, everybody. Jeffrey Hatt, thank you so much, brother, for your support. The Memphis Conservative, thank you so much. Marilyn Kaplan, we appreciate you so much. Better USA, Peter Ulrich, thank y'all so much for your blessings. Show them some love in the chat to Better USA and Peter. Thank you so much to our boy CP, Chris Prez, OG of the fam too, with 20 gifted TrueLife News memberships. Give them some love in the chat, everybody. What a blessing. We can't thank you enough, guys, for all your support. We love you, appreciate you. Thank you for sharing our videos on X, on Facebook. And guys, don't forget to give some love to PDX67 with the 20 gifted TrueLife News memberships on the channel today. Show Richard some love in the chat, everybody. We can't thank you enough, brother. What an OG of the fam. Show Richard some love in the chat. His tag is PDX67. Guys, y'all are the best. We have the best chat in YouTube. Show Raymond LeBlanc some love in the chat. And we'll see y'all in the next one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.